Clara's love for animals started the very moment she could crawl. When she was 3, her parents brought home a scruffy little mutt they named Benny. His ears were uneven, his fur stuck out in all directions, and he had a bark that sounded more like a squeak. But to Clara, Benny was perfect. Every morning before school, Clara filled Benny's bowl, made sure his water dish was fresh, and tied a ribbon around his collar, different colours for each day of the week. When her mother laughed, Clara grinned and said, "Benny deserves to look handsome too, you know, Mum." Word spread throughout the neighbourhood. When Mrs. Jenkins down the street went to visit her sister, she asked Clara to feed her parakeet. When the Lees needed someone to walk their bouncy beagle, Clara volunteered. Soon, she wasn't just the girl with the dog. She was the girl who loves every animal she meets. But Clara's love went way beyond patting and playing. When a stray kitten appeared behind the library, thin and shaking, Clara brought it food every day until it trusted her enough to be carried to the shelter. Clara knew even small kindnesses mattered. That night, as she hugged Benny close, Clara whispered, "One day, I'll make a place where animals feel safe, cared for, and loved, no matter what." Dreams are beautiful, and life has a way of testing them. At school, Clara's classmates noticed the fur on her sweater sleeves and the faint smell of dog shampoo on her hands. Some wrinkled their noses. "Do you live in a kennel or something?" one boy teased. Clara flushed, but didn't answer. Instead, she thought about the wagging tails waiting for her after school. Money was another challenge. While her friends bought new toys or fancy sneakers, Clara tucked every dollar she earned into a jar she had labelled in careful block letters, "Paws of Promise Fund." She walked dogs after homework, brushed tangled fur for neighbours, and even raked leaves to earn extra change. One winter, the roof of the local animal shelter began to leak. Clara didn't just shake her head and sigh. She organised a bake sale with her friends. She baked dog-shaped cookies and paw print cupcakes, selling them outside the grocery store. When she handed the shelter director an envelope of $42, the woman's eyes filled with tears. "You're younger than most of our volunteers, but you've got the heart of all of them combined," she said. Clara beamed. She knew she wasn't the smartest in class or the fastest on the track, but she could work hard and she could care. Years passed and Clara's jar grew heavier. She studied animal care in high school, learned about proper diets and grooming, and volunteered on weekends at the shelter. But challenges didn't disappear. They grew. Rent was expensive, supplies cost money, and some people didn't believe in her dream. "Starting a business is risky," warned Mr. Green, the hardware store owner. Clara nodded respectfully but thought, every risk is worth it if it means helping animals. When she turned 18, Clara rented a dusty little shop on the edge of town. The windows were grimy and the paint peeled from the walls. But where others saw a tired old building, Clara saw the future. She scrubbed the floors until they shone. Her father built sturdy grooming tables from old wood. Her mother stitched bright paw print curtains for the windows. Friends from the shelter painted a cheerful mural of dogs and cats on the wall. Finally, Clara hung a wooden sign above the door, carefully painted by her own hand, "Paws of Promise, Pet Grooming and Care." She stood back and whispered, "This is it. This is what all the hard work was for." Opening day was both exciting and terrifying. Clara woke at dawn, braided her hair neatly, and put on her cleanest apron. The shop smelled of fresh paint and lavender soap. But as she unlocked the door, her stomach fluttered with nerves. What if no one comes? Then the bell over the door jingled. In stepped Mrs. Jenkins, holding the leash of her aging golden retriever, Sonny. "He could use a gentle touch," she said with a smile. Clara's hands trembled at first, but as she brushed Sonny's fur and softly hummed, the old dog leaned against her leg and sighed happily. By afternoon, more pets arrived. A pair of mischievous terriers, a fluffy white cat, even a nervous puppy who hid beneath a chair. Clara greeted each one as if they were her own. The shop filled with laughter, barks, and wagging tails. That night, Clara locked the shop and stood in the glow of her sign. Her hands were sore, her apron covered in fur, but her heart was full. She had faced teasing, doubt, and hard days, but she had never stopped loving, never stopped working. She whispered into the quiet night, "Hard work really does pay off. Struggles make us stronger, and love makes it all worth it." From that day forward, Paws of Promise wasn't just a business. It was a beacon of care, where every tail found a wag and every heart, human or animal, found hope. And the moral of this story? Clara's story reminds us that passion and perseverance can carry us through struggle, and that when we work hard for what we love, we not only build our dreams, we brighten the world for others.